How's it going, everybody? This is Vortex here. Going to be going over my tournament matches from the Vortex Gallery tournament, which took place yesterday. Thankfully, I was able to defend my title. However, it certainly wasn't a clean or easy road, and I figured there's something to learn from every single one of these matches, even at the early rounds where I did face some less experienced players. I do think there's some lessons to be learned there. So, without any further ado, we're going to go into my first round match versus Rectify Damus. The entire tournament here, I stuck to the same team of Arg, Val, and DeGray, which I will actually go over why I chose that real quick. So, first off, DeGray. The thing about DeGray is, number one, he has a good matchup spread, which I like. But the more important thing, and obviously these are related to each other, but the more important thing is that he has a tool to deal with almost every situation that the opponent can throw at him. Sure, his wake-up defense isn't particularly good. His dandy step move doesn't quite get him out of things the way something like a Geiger Flash Gear or a Grave Wake-Up Super could. But other than that one weakness, he, in neutral at least, can generally answer the opponent if you know what they're going to do. And since my game relies more on adapting to what the opponent's doing and not so much trying to put them in some complicated situation that they might not know how to resolve, I much prefer having the my character be as adaptable as possible, so that way I can answer their threats, whatever they're trying to put in my face. So we have DeGray versus Arg here. I actually didn't know if Damus was AFK or not at the start of this. And one thing you're already noticing is that I walked in for free, attacking for free. There has been no resistance whatsoever. I'm not sure if there was maybe any kind of controller issue going on, but I'm not really going to go too much into that round, or really any of these rounds, but I will say a little bit about the match itself in general. We're going to go through this kind of quick. So, jump back A, real quick, it was actually a well-placed hit. It's kind of a gimmick against DeGray to go for a jump back A, simply because he can walk forward or forward A or jump B at you, and all of those are really bad. However, I didn't necessarily try to do anything too crazy to hunt him down, because my general approach when playing a player that I've never heard of or that I assume isn't nearly as good as, you know, the top tier competition is I play very conservatively. I don't take a single risk. I try to walk forward without committing to anything, and then once I'm in a way cripplingly heavy advantage situation, I just kind of face roll and win. That's generally my approach to these matches against players that I'm not too familiar with. And once in a while that'll burn you, because the player you haven't heard of actually is going to do a good job and is going to punish you for being so conservative. However, for me, I always would rather wait to see that happen before I change anything about it. That was a very interesting river, and yeah, I'm just doing kind of standard stuff, just a lot of hits, kind of things that aren't supposed to happen. So again, there's not too much to say about it. That, I don't know what I was going for there, whatever. Memes at this point. I kind of realized this is already over. That was good. No conversion somehow on the counter hit bluefish. Yeah, it's not going to work. And here, again, whatever. Those neutral jumps are actually pretty annoying for DeGray. If he doesn't do a predictive neutral A, he kind of loses his opportunity to do anything. All right, moving on. Again, this is more of an introduction to my team, maybe, and my approach to these matches, rather than this particular match. Not much to analyze necessarily. Argagarg, why is he on my team? He's my best character, and he's my favorite character. I don't actually think he's, quote-unquote, the correct pick, but when he's your best character, and I've beaten every single good player there is with him over and over and over, so of course he's on my team. Not much more to say than that. what you're going to notice about a lot of these early R games. Okay, real quick. People don't know about what that interaction right there. The poison fish stays on the screens for suspiciously long, like way longer than you think. So again, poison comes out here, jumps over it. It is off the screen. It is gone. You see the tailing off here, but it's gone. And yet, because he doesn't jump this wave, he can neutral jump here, and he'd be fine. Jumping in, a little sketchy because of the goldfish, but neutral jumping here gets you out of this. But if you don't, boop. So that's an actual legit thing that happens even against good players. Against Arg, Grave cannot trade long-range fireballs, especially when he's poisoned. I mean, it's just you're just taking free damage at that point. Even without that, though, Arg has the ability, after they collide, to just go for a forward A, and if you do basically anything other than some kind of crazy sword, he's going to hit you out of your startup. It's not good. Or, at max range, he could throw a fireball, you throw a fireball back at him. Then if he goes for another one and you just river, you're going to recover before that fireball hits you, and now river's up for free. So either way, it just doesn't work. You can't do this. There's really no zoner in the game that can match Arg in full screen projectiles. It doesn't exist, and it's not good. And this is just destruction. And the beautiful chip kill. Could have taken that hit and then tried to see if I would miss the forward A conversion, but obviously Damas probably doesn't know about that. Standard stuff here. Okay, gets one chance here. So, one thing that's interesting is Grave has ways to force Arg into the corner whenever he gets wind, more or less. Maybe not if he's cornered at the beginning of the sequence, but anything short of him literally being at the very far end of his side of the stage, all he has to do is walk forward some, then throw fireballs almost on reaction to Arg doing anything. Or if he's going for autopilot fireballs and notices Arg neutral jumping them, he can try a jump B, and this one depends on the spacing and the timing. It's not a guarantee, but he can go for a jump B and sometimes catch Arg right out of the air and just smack Arg maybe for 3, especially if he has super stuck. But here again, just trying to trade fireballs and stuff. It's just not. It's not a strategy. Missed my conversion there. I don't think that was actually convertible. It's kind of a weird hit. Don't even try to anti-air there. I'm chilling, you know. That was a miracle. And there you go. Quick 1, 2, 3 again. Once again, playing exceptionally safe, not going for much offense really at all. Not that I normally would with Arg anyway, but even if I wanted to, it's not really a good idea in my opinion, because why introduce all that variance? All right, and the last member of the lineup, we have Valerie. So, real quick, Valerie, best character in the game. Pretty straightforward. Debatably, 2 bad matchups, possibly 1 bad matchup, and both of them are totally manageable. I don't think she has a single match worse than 4-6 against her. That's insane. This character is bonkers. Crazy damage, crazy neutral, stellar Oki. The only thing that she lacks is wake-up defense, but when you're so dominant across the rest of the game, are you even going to be waking up? I don't know. And especially against a rook that I don't know, it's like totally wild. But, okay, one thing I will say, it looks like I just contradicted myself a little bit because I talked about don't go for risks or anything like that, and then I just did super gimmicky zips. Zip is a nebula to new players. They can't possibly deal with it. So while I said you shouldn't take risks, you could zip whenever you want. It's totally fine. You're just going to win. Oh, I missed the conversion. That was such a good jump, too. But again, I don't really care, right? I'm just trying to not lose, pretty much. Playing to not lose. Nice landslide. Missed the 2 damage. They saw it that time. Match to sneak that forward A in again. Yeah, that was stupid. I could have done a late zip there and it would have worked. I kind of expected him to just stand there, though, to be honest. And that'll do it. So, first game down. A couple more things to review, though, about the early rounds of a tournament. I think Serlin has written about this in his book. Whoops. Oh, geez. Okay, okay, nice. It actually tracks your whole history for a long time. Wait, oh, I see. That's why. There we go. Makes more sense now. I think Serlin has written about this, but you really want to conserve mental energy in the early rounds. So everything I did there, you might say, wow, I missed conversions and I didn't do the right punishes and this and that. And it's like, I don't care at all. I couldn't care less. I'm just trying to win the game and win it in a way that is consistent and that I can replicate over and over and over and over. Until I play players that I know are really going to threaten me with potentially losing, I'm not trying to do a single fancy thing. I'm not trying to do anything technically correct. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just trying to not lose. And while you certainly can't have that mindset against top players, you absolutely should have that mindset versus a player that is way less experienced than you, way less established than you, and hopefully, unless you're very wrong, way less skilled than you. So moving right into my next match versus this fine gentleman. Didn't know what to expect from such a titan of the game. He does have the swag Satsuki skin, so I was a little intimidated. Going for a bunch of kunai, as you would expect. It's not very good. Gets the crazy 2 damage combo there. Kind of funny. Jumps out of that. That was kind of wild. I'm just waiting for the B, or that'll work. Once I see him jump, I know I can throw Ghost out. There's really nothing Satsuki can do from that point. Either Satsuki's going to get caught by the Ghost or throw like a kunai and do nothing useful. Again, just being safe. Could have killed him right there. Whatever. Again, it doesn't matter. I still win, right? Like, whatever. Not about being fancy. No conversion again. That was kind of sketchy, but whatever. That was a crazy anti-air. I don't know why that even works, but there you go. That's some trivia for you. This video is not necessarily going to have the most back and forth dramatic gameplay, but it might have some interesting interactions because when you're playing against players who are kind of doing moves a little bit randomly, you get some very odd situations. So real quick in this match, as I get punched in the face for no reason. This match is one that seems to be not controversial, but misunderstood. I hear a lot of different things about this match. Number one, this match is atrocious for Argagarg. Absolutely hideous. But Jaina has to do a few moves in order for that to be the case. Number one, by far the most important move in this match, not even close, is Dragonheart. Dragonheart beats Forward A, it beats Bluefish, it beats River, from around start distance or roughly around that spacing. Obviously, if you're way far away, it doesn't do anything. But from that spacing, if Arg opens... Oh, and jump generally. Again, Arg might be able to do some finesse tricks to avoid it being a disaster, or if he has super, he might be able to throw a giant fish, which will then catch Jaina as he's hitting Arg. Like, there's a few minor things you can do to get around it. But basically, at round start spacing, if Arg presses anything whatsoever, he gets dunked by Dragonheart, and he's in the corner. From there, the arrows can start flying out, particularly jump C arrows, but honestly, ground B arrows are phenomenal as well. And you can loop the pressure so badly where Arg has to predictively jump at you and drill you. Otherwise, he can't do anything. Of course, trying to zone and do all this, the walking backward is nonsense. It's obviously not what you want to do at all. So I'm just chilling here. Like, having Jaina cornered as Arg is it's just not reality. But again, you have to know the matchup. And this is never going to work. Now I just win. There's nothing you can do anymore. Just poison. That was really miss again. See, a lot of these times I'm missing these bluefish because I just do not expect these bluefish to hit. Yeah, it's I absolutely appreciate people joining the tournament who didn't necessarily think they had a great chance of winning, because it's a fun experience. Like, I play in tournaments for games I'm not that great at. I think it's fun. Sometimes you do a crazy upset, and that's really satisfying, and it might get you more enthusiastic about the game. And even if you don't, at least you'll get to see something and participate, So, by no means do I think there's anything wrong with being a less experienced player. I get the swag traveling in right there, so I can land like right in the middle of the screen. I thought that was pretty good, personally. That was kind of frame perfect timing right there, but... And lastly, we got the Onimaru. This match is one where Oni really has to just make heavy predictions, but he gets rewarded really heavily for them. I don't think it's a good match for him, but he does have outs. He just has to be extremely brave. Of course, in this match, I actually have no choice but to rush down, despite my general unwillingness to do so, because it's actually really bad not to rush down. You don't give Oni space as Val. It's not a good move. One little thing right there I will go over. So, where was it? Yeah, right here. If you try to throw Oni when he's landing here, you can actually just throw him as a punish, but that's hard to do. I could have maybe done it here because he's hitting the wrong way. It's really hard if he's going to land on you the right way. You actually still can throw that, but it's very hard with a small throw range character like Valerie. But the reason I go for the throw right there after the move is ended is if he went for the Rising Sword, I don't get counter hit. The throw recovers, or is not recovers, but is past its startup frames. So you just get hit for one and get knocked down, which obviously is bad. But if you go for, let's just say I went for like back A, right, because it hits for 2. If he Rising Swords against that, it's going to be in startup. I'm going to get counter hit and hit for 3. So that's why I'm willing to go for the throw punish there, or the punish isn't exactly the right word because it's still a gamble, but you know what I mean. Gets bots off, and I just run right into it. Why not? And yeah, I react to a jump. I kind of forget that you can't do that. So I just die. And there you go. 1 round taken. Why not, right? Something to hang your hat on. Got to defend the boys a little bit. It's tough when I have super, though. And he baits it. Doesn't back A, though. You could back A right there for a punish. Yeah, I knew Spirit Fire was coming 100%, and I also knew I was out of range, so there you go. GG's. All right, we're going to move on to... Oh, that's ugly. It keeps going back. All right. We're going to go on to the last kind of pre-top 8 match. I'm going to do these 3 as one video, and then I'll do the winners semis, winners finals, and then finals as separate videos, which will come out in the next few days. So we have Just Cagna, who is a F+ member, and they were playing for top 8. So I've never heard of this player, but hey, good job. I mean, I was definitely a little more concerned here because I was playing for top 8 and I was playing against someone I'd never heard of. That's always a little sketchy. Good wind here. That was unsafe. Yeah, YOLO sword. Not a bad. It's really not a bad guess. I don't hate the play. Yeah, you see, this is where those delayed fireballs don't work, though. And yeah, getting clipped there. Wasting your wind is really bad, honestly, because this is over. Yeah, for me, it's not that it's strictly wrong, but if I'm on 1 life and poisoned and far away, I'm not using my wind because it's your ace in the hole against Argagarg. Without wind, Argagarg is actually probably favored in the match. The wind is the thing that really screws him up and gets him cornered and gives you all your pressure and makes his life really sad. So giving that wind meter up on a virtually lost round, I would personally never do that. I'd rather just die. Goes for a predictive. He could have actually jumped B there and it would have been okay. Just sticking a poison here. Gets hit, gets driven to the corner. That's cool. Good late jump B, actually. That was hard to deal with. I don't know why I poisoned there. Just for funsies, I guess. So, you might be wondering, this little interaction, where was it? Whoa. I don't know where it was. Right here. So, this, you might wonder how the heck this fish trades with this. This wave barely clipped this. There's no indication that that happened, but this has 1 projectile hit point. So this is already down to 1. So then, boop, it's gone. Now, of course, the blue fish behind it doesn't do anything because it only has 1 and the red fireball has 2. So it kind of didn't matter. But if that looked weird, that interaction does always work that way. Yep. Sadly, cannot punish a bubble pop. Yeah. Just, it's really tough there. Not much to say, honestly. You're poisoned. You're far away. I have super, I don't know. Make something happen. I like it. Jump in, you know. Maybe just a little more jumpy, honestly, because that move is really hard for Art to anti-air because you can't anti-air jump A and jump B with the same timing on a back A. Makes it actually annoying. If I don't have super, it makes it very annoying. That was actually, I'm really sad about this. This was a completely safe. How does this work? Speed. Let's go for a nice little slow mo. So right there, I am recovered. You see that? That was me being fully recovered. I was doing that intentionally to bait a divide and conquer and then block it, and I didn't block it. Now, if that's not big brain, I don't know what it is. Yo, get real. What? Yeah, give me that. I need a .25. Like, this might be the sickest move I've ever seen in my entire life. Just get out of here, dude. My God. Yo, Kagna. Disgusting. Sadly, goes for the parry 100% of the time. Just go for A there. I don't have super yet. I can't even parry it. I really have no way to challenge it at all. The parry, however, I mean, DeGray isn't really supposed to hit buttons here anyway, so not really going to work out. Could have maybe won that round if you did A there and then kept following up. Not really sure why that jump and hit, but that would have comboed for 2 if he tried to divide and conquer anyway. So I don't know what I was going for there. Yep, catches me at forward A. Really not very good against Onimaru, but I did it more because I figure I can kind of just do what I want. And we get the chip setup. Hit confirm. Gotta love it. Jump over that. Hey, no combo. Okay, I don't know if he could have held that longer. I feel like he could have. I don't play enough on Imaru. It looked like he could have held that longer and maybe let this finish and then bought me. Not sure. It's kind of hard for me to say. But either way, unfortunate because I actually really like the gimmick. It would have won the round if it worked. And no really need to get hit by that, but I mean, yeah, you're on 1 HP. It's not looking good, so understandable. Oh, as I say that, I go for the zip shenanigans, but I was like, okay, not going to work against Kagna. Kagna's leveled up from that. However, I do get the 4 damage. So, okay, one thing, I think the Rook experts would agree with me. I want to go back to this Earthquake. So we're in neutral right here. First off, jumping backward from Valerie doesn't strike me as the play. I think it's way more threatening to jump forward. But secondly, so look at the situation. The risk reward here of you doing this Earthquake, as far as I could tell, is just garbage. If it works, you might be in normal throw range after a landslide, like barely. However, you're definitely not going to be able to thunderclap, so at best, maybe you're in neutral A range, but probably, like, not even really. I mean, that spacing was, like, pretty far. So you're threatening, like, forward A, normal throw, or C throw? Maybe. If it works. However, I'm not under any pressure. I'm not under any duress. There's nothing for me to look at on the screen except you doing an Earthquake. And if you do the Earthquake and I react to it, I get 4. So, yeah, jump back, not what I would do, and then certainly jump back Earthquake, like, don't do that. And that's just free if I go into the rainbow, I'm pretty sure at least. At least I'm not aware of a way for work to get out of that, so. Predictive C-throw isn't a bad move, but oh, there you go, see? It's not a bad move, however, it should be done sparingly. Oh, fancy pants syndrome. Okay, I want to talk about this real quick, because this happens a lot. I'm knocked down, and what does he do? Nothing. He does nothing. I see this, I'm like, all right, adios. Just stand there. Like, if you think, oh, man, I should have jumped earlier, oh, I missed my timing, just stand there. Do a neutral A or a normal throw or a C throw, maybe a thunderclap if you're feeling a little jazzy, but just stand there and just pick an option and try to do some Oki. You don't do all this fancy crap. It sucks, honestly. Like, just stop. Unless you're a super expert at it, you don't need it. Throw it in the garbage can. Learn it later. Just worry about the fundamentals. That was actually, I think, safe. At least I wasn't willing to try it. So that one looked a little iffy too. So I didn't. I mean, whatever. You know, I could afford to just take it. But that one I probably could have thrown. All right. So that's going to conclude our early rounds. Like I said, I'm going to make individual videos for the next round since they're way more interesting and there's so much more going on. However, I do think it's important to highlight those early rounds again, just to talk a little bit about the mindset in a tournament of how to deal with the early rounds, how to minimize your risk, and how to conserve your mental energy. And also, just as a shout out to the players who maybe didn't expect to do very well, but still got a chance to compete, participate, maybe learn something. Again, I hope for their sake and for the sake of the general community that there's still something to be gained from entering a tournament that you realistically aren't going to win. So I really do appreciate everyone who came out and played. And I hope that in the future we still have people that are willing to throw their hat in the ring, even if they're not necessarily a top-tier player, because it does make things way more fun and way more hype, I think. Anyway, until next time, I've been a Vortex, and I thank you for watching, and talk to you soon.